Hey guys, I'm gonna give my presentation that I was supposed to do with Sancher. I did the international agreements presentation with him, and I picked to do disarmament and the Kellogg-Briand Pact of 1928. So the first disarmament conference was in 1921. It was called the Washington Conference. US, Japan, Britain and France all took part in it, and they agreed to limit the size of their navies. Nevertheless, in 1923, Britain rejected this disarmament treaty, and as they feared they would have to defend all the other nations, since they had a very powerful navy. Therefore, this was a disarmament failure. The League's reputation was damaged by this, as Germany was the only country forced to disarm, yet no one else was ready to follow suit. Then much later, in the heat of the Manchurian crisis, there was another disarmament conference in February 1932. The aims of the conference were to prohibit bombing of civilian populations, limit the size of artillery, limit the tonnage of tanks, and prohibit chemical warfare. However, they failed to prohibit planes capable of bombing and failed to ban manufacture of chemical weapons. Therefore, all the aims that I listed were ineffective, as they still could drop the bombs, and the weapons were still being produced. So again, it was a disarmament failure. No one was serious about the disarming, and countries focused on self-interests. Going back in time, sort of, not really chronological order. The Kellogg-Briand Pact was signed in 1928. It marked a high point for international cooperation. It condemned war as a means of solving disputes and rejected it as an instrument of policy, as well as stated that the settlements of all disputes shall be sought through by peaceful means. The positives of this pact were that optimism was high. It was signed by 65 countries, which was a turning point in world affairs, and it encouraged international cooperation and communication. Also, disputes were to be solved peacefully, so that was a positive. However, there was no clause about what would happen if war were to break out. It did not help the League of Nations with disarmament, clearly, as the disarmament conference in February 1932, 4 years after that, was a failure. Most of the world was run by a small amount of countries, so the fact that it was signed by so many countries didn't really mean so much, because it was only a small part of the world cooperating, since most of the world was controlled by a fraction of people, and therefore it was not realistic but idealistic. And just to say bye, if Sarah's there, I'm sorry I couldn't be there today Friday and yesterday Thursday. I was getting my braces taken off, but anyway, it was really nice seeing you. I hope to see you again. I hope you enjoyed your stay in Prague. And yeah, keep in touch.